G'day Rugby League fans and welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast brought to you by the ACC, and we're officially back, baby. Episode 1 for 2023. You've got me, Chris Key, and joining me as always from beautiful Bay of Plenty, Ben Hurley. How are you today?
I'm right here. I'm right next to you.
So, Ben, how are you going?
Good, thanks.
I'm full of passion.
You are, yeah. So much so you didn't notice that I'm sitting next to you.
That's right. Oh, you've driven in from sunny Bay of Plenty. You've also been commentating cricket all morning, so no doubt your head's in a different matrix.
All summer, or whatever we call this season now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you ready to get back into NRL, though?
Yes, I'm so keen.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a bit of a gear change there in my tone.
No, that's good. First to fifth. I like it.
Yeah.
And, of course, as always, the one and only Dai Henwood. How fizzed are you for the NRL's return?
Look, mate, I've been sitting in an oil-ridden garage under the tarp. I've had an old man fiddling away at my undercarriage, getting me into great form, and I am fizzing. I tell you what, I got a taste of rugby league with the pre-season cup that happened, and then we got a week off, and bam, we're about to hit the ground running on this weekend.
I watched the Māori versus Indigenous game.
The All-Stars.
That was a ripper.
It was an absolute ripper at Rotorua International Stadium. They're great venue,
Big crowd.
Huge crowd.
Big crowd. I got some beach mana after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was running on Waihi Beach, and guy came up and just started chatting rugby league to me.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Love a bit of beach mana.
Yeah.
And also, I hear that the mana was dripping over Rotorua, though. Greg Inglis did a great little potty where he was just raving about the cultural experience that they were given.
Awesome.
The chance for the Indigenous crew from Australia to really connect with Māori, learn about the history of Māori, and apparently the week leading up to it was just phenomenal. Then it was a cracker of a game, and the Warriors are looking exciting.
Did they play rugby league? I just watched the Hakas, and I thought that was it.
Oh, look. I tell you, you don't often see a cracker 82-minute haka, but
It completely satisfied everything I needed.
How good was the haka?
Great haka. I was also, just another little anecdote before we get going, I was in Palmerston North over the weekend. They were having their Festival of Cultures. I went into the Papua New Guinea tent and talked rugby league with some Papua New Guinean ladies for about half an hour. They gave me a cup of their locally grown coffee, and we had a good old chat about the kummels.
Papua New Guinean coffee is amazing.
Yeah, really is good.
Is that the coffee that passes through an animal first and then they pick the beans out?
No, I think that's Indonesian.
It's Indonesian, yeah.
The monkey poo one.
You get punished for that when you go to Bali.
Right, I see. And, of course, Justin Olam, he's PNG, isn't he?
Yeah, grew up playing with sand in a 2-litre Coke bottle. That's why
right.
It's so hard.
And he's got a doctorate in science or something. He's,
absolute legend.
I gushed on a little bit too much about Adrian Lamb's boy. What's his name?
Lachlan Lamb.
Lachlan Lamb.
Oh, yes.
I think he's great. Yeah. Anyway.
We will crack on with Mad Monday, the first of the year, and the NRL season, it begins this Thursday with a wee bit of a stonker. Actually, can I get the stonker of the round noise just quickly? Yeah, 9:50 p.m. The Eels are taking on the Storm to open the season. Also Saturday night, another stonker. The Rabbits taking on the Sharks at 9:30 p.m. I've circled those two games, and the Warriors this Friday at 8 p.m. who are taking on the Knights in Sydney as my three must-watch games of the round. But Dai Henwood, this is something I'm sure you've been wanting to do for a long time. It's a good look over the Warriors team. How are we looking? Who do you like the look of? Who do you not like the look of? I'm guessing it's no one. And looking at the predicted 17 that was up on NRL.com, basically they've got Chance at fullback, Dallin on one wing, Viliami Vailea and Pompey in the centres, Montoya on the other wing. Of course, Temaire Martin and Sean Johnson are in the halves, Adam Whenua-Blake and Mitch Barnett are the two props, Wade Egan at hooker, Josh Curran at 11, Marata Niukore in jersey 12 and Tohu at 13 there. Dai, what do you like about the team this year?
Well, first of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to the SG Ball side. Unbelievable unbeaten so far over 3 games, I believe it is. And if they win against the Knights on the weekend, that could actually put them right up to top position. And also very positive things on that front is it looks like the owner is reaching into his pocket and paying for the Warriors to put 5 teams into the Australian comps.
Wow.
Which will mean we'll have basically a team in every comp from the 16s up, which means we're going to have, for the first time in a long time, a proper pathways side. And that's actually the only realistic way over time of building a squad that you can rely on, rather than trying to buy pinch hitters here and there.
Well, we can't, right? Because we're the Warriors, so you can't get those superstars, so we need pathways.
So you bring these players through, and unfortunately there's players like a Rocco Berry and so forth who get bought in a bit too early and get just people think they're a bit shithouse, but it's just because they haven't played enough time in the younger grades. But wow, I'm excited about this side. In that 1 to 17 that you labelled, my only things I don't really like is seeing Mitch Barnett playing at prop. I don't really know whether he was a prop.
He wasn't really for the Knights, no.
I like him playing in the 11 or 12 jersey, Marata Niokore, or even Tohu playing at prop. That rotation's going to be interesting. I really like this young guy, Jackson Ford. I think he's going to be a standout player, and he could fit into that prop rotation. Tane Tuapiki, he just shone at fullback in the trials. I don't know how much game time he'll get, as I think he's a guy who really needs to develop a bit. Chance, Nickel Klokstad, is a player who I love, but I'm wondering whether he will, over the season, slip into centre with Tamari Martin dropping back to fullback, and depending on how ballsy Webster is, putting Metcalf and I've blanked. No, Metcalf in with Sean Johnson in the halves.
Would you say, because we always say it looks pretty good on paper, but I think even that side on paper, you'd go defensive centres and front rowers. We're
lacking.
We're lacking a little.
Well, especially the centres once again.
Yeah.
You know, Viliami Vailea and Pompey.
Well, Vailea's a risk. He's basically on the hype train at the moment. He's a great player.
Do you put Tohu at centre as a defensive centre?
I mean, Tohu has even played in the halves.
I know. I mean, he literally has played. I don't think he's played wing or fullback.
The other person, I know they're not going to, but Marata Niokore spent a lot of time in the centres for the Eels. I can't remember defensively whether he was good, though. I know he's a devastating ball runner, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to pick a team and stay with it.
Yes.
What I like about what you're saying, Hurls, is defence. I think we need to defensively be a lot stronger. What worried me in both the Storm and the Tigers game in the preseason was we get so flustered still when we're in the 20 metre. We seem to... people get the ball and they don't instinctively go into a play. Montoya's really shining,
yes.
I think, out on the wing. I love what he is doing. Metcalf looked awesome. I don't know how much game time he's going to get. And I'm worried, but I think we'll beat the Knights.
Look at the positives, though, right? I think halves, good.
Yep.
Right? I think 3/4, good.
Yeah.
Right? I think back row, good.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
I also like Dylan Walker off the bench in the utility jersey. He was fantastic coming off the bench for Manly.
Well, if you look at that back row around the people who brought in, who you'd floating Dylan Walker as an interchange there, Mitch Barnett, he is a really solid player. Him and Marata Niokore in that back thing. Plus you've got Josh Curran on an interchange as well. It looks bloody awesome. Braden Williami, he's a young guy who'll probably start to get a run. Pompey and Kossi, I'm worried about.
Yes.
Defensively. It's hard to get a beat on them, though, until we actually see them playing a NRL game. And I like what the coach is doing. I've listened to quite a lot of potties with him in the off-season, and he sounds great.
So what were the do we play 3 pre-seasons?
2.
2. So we lost to the Storm.
Lost to the Storm, which turned into a bit of a Warriors blowout.
And we pantsed the Tigers.
Yeah, we beat the Tigers. But that Tigers side, they played
good.
none of their new signings, and they were a very young side. But then that Tigers side went on to smash the Raiders.
Yeah, so it's looking good for the Warriors is what you're saying. And the other thing too, when looking at the side, is last year we were so banged up with injuries, we couldn't actually put out a Dream 17. So it's nice. It's the start of the year. Everyone's healthy, and you can put your best players where you want them. We don't have all day to sit here and gush over the Warriors' new team, so we will have to have a look at something very quickly. The breakout warrior of the season, which is someone that you guys think is going to sort of move to the next level. Quite a few options to choose from. I might go first here. I do think it's not Chance Nickel-Klukstad. I know what he can do when he's healthy. It's either Marata Niukore, who when he got time for the Eels was absolutely devastating. And I think a Tamari Martin sort of resurgence where he's not being a role player, he's being a key factor in the offense. It's out of those two for me, and I'm thinking Tamari Martin.
Yeah, I agree. I had Tamari Martin as well, if he can stay fit.
Yes, if he can stay fit and healthy, and
and maybe Josh Curran to get a little nod for Origin, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I love Josh Curran. He's probably one of my favourite Warriors, up there with Bunty R4. Mine is a rookie who's going to stamp his name all over the faces of other teams. Playing the second row at a pinch, he's a prop who I mentioned before, Jackson Ford.
Right.
He's my breakout player for the year. I think he's going to be the man all over your middies' lips this weekend.
I think my first car was a Jackson Ford.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it only had 4 gears. I couldn't get into 5th.
Oh, no, mine was a Tony Holden.
Mine was a...
That is a very specific reference from 1990s TV. Dai Henwood.
Big crossover with the Warriors fan club. Hey, I tell you the prop I'm also raving about. I'm going all forwards for my breakouts. Jackson Ford and Tom Ale.
That's right. It is Ale, not Ale, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Ale. Yeah. Don't be taken aside by any of the Australian commentators trying to call him Tom Ale. He is Tom Ale, and he had a great start to the season. So my one worry about the Warriors, which seems to be a worry of mine each season, is this fitness buzz, right?
Absolutely.
So the Storm started rusty. But then once the rust got out and they got their patterns, they seemed to get fitter and fitter through the match, and they're known for Bellamy just
grinding sides down, right?
He's just 4 days deep on the nose guy, getting them to run up mountains. But the Warriors seem to fade out a bit. It's too hard to tell in pre-season games, and more will be told against the Knights down in Wellington on Friday.
If nothing else, Warriors, stay fit so Blocker Roach can't say that we're unfit.
They're out on their feet.
Not that it matters. We could have the fittest team in the competition, he'd still say it.
The Warriors are out on their feet here. That's a good point, because other things like Alessi Katoa, who's now at the Storm, I'm listening to a podcast and they're saying, he looks like on another level this year. Like, he looks so fit and he looks like he's... And I'm just like, why did he not look fit at the Warriors? So this
is a bit of a pet peeve. Look, I personally think what happened to Asaya Papali'i could vary. You know how Asaya Papali'i was a middling player at the Warriors?
Absolutely.
Then he was like second rower of the year 2 years in a row.
Yes.
I think that could happen to Eli Katoa as well. But I'm the same... Keatsy, I don't understand. It's like, well, it's not like it's not like going from NRL to Super League. They should all have similar systems and similar fitness markers.
Do we need to bring in someone who used to be a fitness expert for one of the top tier teams? Is that what we do? We go when whoever's doing the Melbourne Storm at the moment. Do you just bring them in once they're done and say, look, can you just do exactly what you did but for our team?
Isn't it just try, but don't you like just go try harder?
Just try harder?
Just try a little bit harder.
But in New Zealand, we don't like tryhards. So
Yeah,
that's probably it.
well, this year, I believe they brought in as a fitness coach. They brought Suzanne Paulin, and she's doing comical dances with them. You know,
You know the episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets employed as a motivation leader of a team, and he goes, "Are you guys working as hard as you can?" And they go, "No." "Oh, well, could you work harder?" "Sure." That's all we need.
That is exactly what we need.
however, there has been a bit of a change up there. I believe Monty Beetham's out there full time now coaching. I mean, he's great on the mental space and pushing people. But yeah, and Webby, the new coach, he talks. He's got a great footy brain. If you can search out any interviews with him, there's quite a few out there. He does know what he wants from this side, and it's going to be whether he can just get the whole team cohesive, playing to a simple game plan, and as Ben mentioned before, that defence, especially in the centres.
So the coach of the Warriors is Webby.
Yeah.
The coach of the All Blacks is Fozzie. And the Prime Minister is Chippy. Are we getting a little too close to these positions of authority?
Well, fortunately, the coach of the Silver Ferns is Dame Nolene Taurua, so that sort of balances things out nicely. But I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
And that's coming from Keezy. We should probably move on to movements over the off-season because a lot of players have changed teams. Some big names have floated around. First, we'll start with the Broncos. First of all, they've got Reece Walsh now. They've also got Marty Topo. What do you guys reckon? How do you reckon Reece is going to go on the back of that Broncos backline?
Well, Reece Walsh had a blinder of a first half to start the pre-season, which pissed me off a bit because I secretly wanted him to suck.
I want his career to just be over.
Of course.
Yeah. But
texting your ex, right?
Yeah, and he showed that, but he might come and root us once, you know, even though he's over there.
A bit of a relapse.
But what he's playing, much like an ex, he's in a new position, isn't he?
No, he's
fullback.
He's playing fullback over there.
Yeah.
Because I think their plan for them is a year or two at fullback. Cobbo then moves to fullback and he moves into the halves when Reynolds leaves.
With Ezra Mam, because they got Ezra Mam and Reynolds there, which is quite a nice wee team, the Broncos, actually. They're a bit of a smoky for me.
And they're looking, I mean, I love Pat Carrigan at the,
my God,
at the Broncos. He's just
he's a hero.
Just watching you say nice thing about the Broncos is
yeah, I know.
quite funny.
I hate Queensland teams. But then, to be honest, this is probably my most likeable Broncos outfit.
Yeah.
Of all time.
And, yeah.
Since their inception.
Since their inception, I can't name another good player. I mean, like...
Gordon Tallis.
No, there was that
Langer.
guy, Gordon Tallis and Andrew Langer or whatever his name was. He was okay.
Lockyer Dai's your absolute favourite.
Oh, yeah, no, get to play for the Broncos, need 10 bolts and ducks. I'm Darren Lockyer.
So, anyway, we're going to derail this if you get me talking about the Broncos. I tell you a team who I think's going to rise up the ranks and potentially be top 8, Manly.
Manly
Under
Seagulls.
Anthony Seibold. Manly's going to come like a phoenix rising from the ashtray.
Is there a Tommy Turbo?
Yes.
Well, he's fit to play round 1. It depends.
So he is fit to play. He's come back from the States. His hammy's good to go. And he had few other niggles and things, didn't he? So he is officially playing round 1. Didn't play the preseason, though. If he can stay healthy. In the off-season, they made 2 signings that I thought were not really big names. But Cal Matuilangi from the Tigers, who I think is a gun, but hasn't been utilised properly. And then Cooper Johns, who was sort of on the fringes of the storm. Why do you think Manly's going to be so much better? Just with Seibold?
Yeah, I actually think Seibold is a dark horse, is a really good coach. I think there was a lot of negative stuff going around between the Fulton family and Des Hasler, and they sort of cut ties with all that. This is fresh. Obviously, so much of this relies on Tommy Turbo playing. He's a bit got Kalen Ponga syndrome where they sort of seem to play in that 7 to 10 games a season.
Yes.
If he plays the full season, I think he's good. And the Ruben Garrick, though, looked really good. Josh Schuster's dropped the baby fat. He's looking
But he's
tight.
injured now, isn't he? He's starting with a hamstring niggle. Or
He
a
is.
quad or something.
Much to the chagrin of my Supercoach side,
I know,
which we'll get on to. But he's out there. But that's not a massive injury. But no, I'm picking them to slide into the 8.
What about, just for you, Ben, we'll just touch on the Titans. You guys have signed Kieran Foran, Sam Verrills from the Roosters, and Aaron Schott from the Bulldogs.
Now, it's nice to get some real sort of age in there.
Yeah, Fozza.
That's what the Titans were lacking, was a sort of slower, older player.
The team that I think is just, and I think most people are just so interested in this year, is going to be the Bulldogs, though, right?
Yeah.
They've brought Viliami Kikau across from the Panthers, Reid Marnie from the Eels, Hayes Perham, of course, who's going to be playing fullback probably, and Josh Reynolds is back from Super League. How do you guys see the Bulldogs going this year? Because I think now that they've got like a really good spine, Marnie, Burton, Flanagan, and then depending on who they've got at fullback, whether it's Averillo or Hayes, I think they've got the potential to actually do something decent this year.
Nah.
Okay, moving on.
I don't think top 4, but I think
top 8 though.
They'll certainly improve. Yeah, I see middle of the pack.
Right.
I mean, I on my sort of list, I have them at 9 or 10.
Right.
I think they will improve from last year. But then they've got Serraldo coaching, who gets the best out of them. Matt Burton's looking sharp. I think they'll be a
Decent
Bulldog
dummy.
eating yogurt, but won't quite get into that top 4.
Speaking of Dad's Army, now the Dolphins, they've got a lot of quite old players.
Oh, that's what they've done, right? And then they're going to try to bring you guys through, I guess.
Well, I guess they've got a junior system, right?
Yes.
So they can do that.
Yes.
It's not like Melbourne.
Right.
No, they literally just took a club from second grade to first grade.
Yeah.
I think they rushed them a bit. They didn't give them enough time to consolidate. They didn't have a big enough window where players were off contract to go to the Dolphins. And I mean, I picked a few of their players to shine, but they have got an old roster and they look pretty sluggish.
Defensively in the backs look terrible in the preseason. There's a lot of points.
I think they're going to be fighting for the wooden spoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along with the Dragons.
The Dragons, I mean, they signed 2 former Warriors, Bootstrap Paul Turner and Ben Murdoch-Masilla as well. One last thing I'd just like to touch on when looking at the other teams. The Knights, right? I think they've made 3 of the best signings of the season because they signed Adam Elliott from the Raiders, who's an absolute weapon. And if he plays in the middle, I'm going to be all over him. Greg Marju from the Titans on the receiving end of Kalen Ponga skip passes.
Greg Marju had a great season at the Titans last year.
And if he can sort out his defence, holy shit, he could be one of the best wingers to watch in the game. And then Lachlan Miller, the speedster, was he an Aussie Sevens player who was like a sprinter? He's now playing fullback for the Knights, so I think they could be excited. They're still going to lose a lot.
And they're team players, like when Ponga's feeling ill and so forth and needs to go to a toilet cubicle for some counselling, another guy often goes with him.
Yeah.
You know, I do like the Knights signings, but I still have them in my bottom 4.
Yeah, I think they'll be exciting, but they will lose a lot.
So we're going to do a top 4, bottom 4.
Let's do it, eh?
Let's do it. All right. Do you want to go first, Hurley, or?
Okay, I haven't written mine down, but I'm just going to go off the top of my head.
No, riff it.
Yeah, I'm going to riff it. Top 4, Sharks,
Correct.
Cowboys. Oh, all right.
Nah, they're like 4 or 5 for me, yeah.
Roosters, Bunnies.
Bunnies, no Panthers.
So
Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. That's why I shouldn't have ripped it.
Lock it in.
No, so the big call on the Cowboys is not about the Cowboys, but what team's going to be the Cowboys for this year? You know how the Cowboys were
Yeah.
picked to come 15th or 14th, and then they just barnstormed it with an amazing run. We've all got a soft spot for the Cows. But can someone emulate that, and can the Cows keep up their...
Have they lost personnel?
Not really. Oh, not really. To be honest, they're pretty, and they haven't added anyone either. They've got a pretty locked team.
Yeah, I see good things.
I think that's a pretty bona fide top 4.
Yeah, I did forget about the Panthers, although the Panthers have hemorrhaged a few.
Yeah.
They've lost Api Kurosawa, who I think is going to be a bigger loss than they realise, the Panthers.
And Kikau. I mean,
and Viliami, that left wing.
That's huge.
And Taylor May's now out for the whole season.
So there was someone, I forget who it was, I was following on Twitter, ran stats on Viliami Kikau, and he's actually one of the best defensive second rowers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So people don't think of him in that respect, but you forget he added so much starch, but he's just so big.
Yeah. He's completely different from Luke Garner, who's in replacing him. And, watching him in the preseason, Luke Garner wasn't amazing. I don't think that left side's going to be as devastating as it was for the Panthers.
Go, top four, Keezy.
Top four, Panthers first, lock that in. Sharks, definitely Sharks.
Yeah.
Roosters is the third team. And for fourth, I think it's either going to be the Cowboys. I don't think the Rabbitohs will make it. So either the Cowboys or a smoky team like the Broncos.
Yes, I got Broncos about 6th.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll make the 8th.
I see that. I think you're a bit game on the Panthers. The Panthers I definitely see in the 8, but I can't see going premierships 3 years in a row.
No, not premiership, but they'll be top four, surely.
Oh,
no
top-
Storm, though, in either of
no,
us.
no, I don't. No.
You
This is an off year. Off year for the Storm, they'll come 5th.
Yeah. So I was going through this. I was going, look, I can't see how the Storm are going to win this. And then I looked through when Harry Grant,
Yeah.
Cameron Munster, and Pappenhausen.
Oh, and even Jerome Hughes.
And Jerome Hughes. So they've got an
yeah.
amazing spine.
Yeah, true.
Plus, also, we all know Bellyache gets these players like an Eli Katoa.
Yes.
And then everyone goes, why can't we have Eli Katoa? He's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But the Storm, though, sorry, just on Pappenhausen, it sounds like he's going to be out till like mid-season at
Yeah,
least.
see, he's another one. Yeah, 7 games a year,
He's
maybe.
So
Yeah.
sad to
Yeah.
see those players. My top four are Roosters first, South second, Penrith third, and I do have the Storm in fourth.
Wow.
Ah, okay, yep.
Ahead of the Cowboys.
Yeah, I forgot about the
Yeah,
Storm spine.
I've got the. They're just one of those sides that I thought, they've. How many times have people said, they lost Cam Smith,
Yeah.
they lost Billy Slater, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, and I've got the Cowboys at fifth.
I think bottom four is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for me, my bottom four is Wests, Knights, Dolphins, and Dragons.
Nice. All right.
I'd go Wests, Knights, Dolphins, and Titans.
Oh my God, I didn't have the. This is. I actually had them one above West.
Right.
So.
I love. So you predicted the Titans for top four last season.
No,
You predicted them bottom four. I bet they come first or something. So my bottom four, definitely the Dolphins, definitely the Titans. Definitely the Tigers. I don't think that the Titans will be there just because I like the changes they've made, and I think they will have a decent, especially the left wing. I think they're going to be exciting to watch. So I'm going to go Dolphins, Tigers, Dragons. I don't know who that fourth spot's going to be. Raiders?
Yeah, see, the Raiders.
They could be bad.
Yeah.
this
The
year.
Raiders could be really bad this year, unfortunately, and I love the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders are the team, my soft spot team's really the Cowboys, but Raiders are quite close under that. I
Yeah.
think it's from having so many epic Kiwis in the 90s.
Yeah, totally.
Also, Sticky now looks angry. Ricky Stewart looks
angrier.
Angrier.
Rather than angry positive, he just looks a bit pissed off with
Yeah.
the team. So I reckon
And
I agree with that.
The other thing with the Raiders is that they're kind of aging. Like, your Crokers, even Papali'i, all those guys that were sort of the English fellas, they've lost Adam Elliott. I think they're just starting to get
But
to the...
John Bateman's back.
He's
but
playing
for the Tigers.
Yes, exactly.
So what we're all saying, Warriors, mid-table wounders. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're coming eighth, baby. Then we're taking down the Roosters in the first round of the finals.
First round of the finals.
I think it's going to be really interesting for me, having watched so much rugby league over the years, getting to a state where a team has a bye every week because it's 17.
Have we discovered what's going to happen for Magic Round? Who's the loser on the sideline who doesn't get to play?
So what I have discovered for Magic
Be funny if it was the
Round
Broncos.
is that the Broncos, it's an away game again
Oh,
for
yeah,
them. And the Broncos play their first 5 games at home.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, they're 4 out of their first 5 games at
Is
home.
he coming off the back fence early?
Oh, my God.
I'm coming everywhere.
The ref hasn't even blown the whistle yet.
And not happy come either. This is-
Oh, no, not angry, come.
It's the worst kind. So that's our predictions for the season. Once again, the season starts Thursday night, 9:50 p.m. with the Eels taking on the Storm, which means also a lot of people, including myself, Dai Henwood, who's extremely deep in this, will be firing up our fantasy teams. I traditionally have just done a draft league. I am still doing that on Supercoach. This year, I'm doing a classic league team, and we've convinced everyone here at the ACC to join in. So, Ben Hurley, for example, you've never done classic Supercoach NRL.
No, I think you're going to have to treat me as the Jason Hoyt of Mad Monday because
Oh, wow,
I
it's
have
that bad.
no idea what I'm doing.
No, to be fair, neither
I
have
do the tipping.
So tipping, yeah. Okay.
That's easy.
Classic Die, because you're the expert on this.
So I'm 10 years deep now.
Wow.
I have my gold super coach key ring. I have my KFC Supercoach socks. I have my.
How do you get those?
Do you make love in them?
Yes. Take a look at my seat.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a bit grim. So the highest I've placed is 9th, I believe.
In the world.
Yeah. And
What?
I've made the top 50 a couple of times.
You got 9th in the world.
Yeah, this was a few years ago when I
What
had
did you get for that?
Kudos.
a gold key ring.
Oh, and a sock. So was that it?
I haven't tested whether it's actually gold.
Yeah, the gold keyring and two...
And a hat, top 10 Supercoach
Two
hat.
romance rigs.
Yeah.
No, we are going to be looking for a prize for this Supercoach group we're running. And one of my mates did actually have the idea that the winner of the group wins a Mad Monday with Mad Monday. So
Great.
we get ACC to put cash together. We take the winners out on a massive Mad Monday.
Okay.
No phones, no leaking photos to the WhatsApp the next day, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or a Warriors jersey and tickets
There
and things
better be
like
some
that.
press-ups in a pub somewhere.
Exactly. I like that. But I didn't realise the object of this is we're going to have our own group. So if you win that, you win something. But also, you automatically, are you going overall against everyone else in the world?
So you automatically go overall.
Okay.
So you get a ranking at the end of every week that shows where you're sitting out of. Usually it seems to be about 150,000
Right.
people.
And is the idea to get as many points as you can by the end of the season as well?
Yes.
Okay.
However, though, when you're in a league playing head-to-head, like we will be.
Okay. That's our league, not our group.
So, for instance, the times where I've got top 50 and above worldwide,
Right.
I've actually done quite badly in my head-to-head leagues.
Right.
Because I was focusing on just getting as much points rather than playing off who I'm actually playing that week.
God, I'm so...
So
What I
confused.
do, Hurley, is just all we care about. We've got the Mad Monday
Group?
Yeah, we've got the Mad Monday Munters, right? This
Yeah.
is an unlimited group with all our people.
That's
so
right.
you just compete against them.
Yes.
And for all the people out there, it's 160442
That's
is our
correct.
code. 160442. Go to the Supercoach site. It's the main Supercoach one. We'll provide you with all the links in that. And then when you're going head to head, you have 3 weeks of grace.
So this is in our private thing. So I almost feel like we just prioritise that Mad Monday group. Like, is that how you'd suggest we do it? Because we just go, look, the head-to-head stuff, you just have to do that as an offside thing. But what you really want to do is win the Mad Monday group, right?
Yeah,
And
you
be
want to win
highest.
the Mad Monday Munters group.
Mad Monday Munters, it's called, yeah. So 160442, make sure you join that, and then we will come up with a prize or something, which is pretty awesome. Dai, when do price rises happen? How often does that happen?
So when you're buying, basically, for people who are out there new, I'd recommend auto-picking your team.
Yeah, and then tutoring
So
with it.
what you can do is you choose who's your favourite NRL team, then it auto-picks it going heavy on those players.
Titans for you, Ben.
Then you tutor around with it. You could pick the entire Titans team and still be under the salary cap.
But when you pick the whole Roosters team,
Yeah.
for some reason, it's way over the salary cap.
That's interesting, isn't it?
You have players got their third game is when the price goes up.
Right.
So, and when you're picking a rookie who's bottom price,
Yeah.
your ideal is to get on them the week before their price goes up.
Right. And does that, from that point on, every week, do they go up and down?
Yeah, from that point they have a break-even score, which you can see.
Yep.
And then once the break-even starts getting high, you probably want to unload them because that's when they hemorrhage money.
That's when you trade to either another cash cow or buy a star or something, right?
So
okay.
at the beginning, you just want guns and cash cows.
Right.
So you want a few guns.
Right.
Right. Yep. Sounds good. Can't wait to get involved.
The thing is, Hurley, it's cool because it's all admin.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
That's what makes it so cool.
All you have to do is auto pick a team, pick a few of your favourites, and if you don't touch it again, and then you come dead last in the group, and we get to make fun of it, then that's sweet as.
So the years
thank
that
God.
I've gone really well is when I haven't actually thought about it too much.
Yep.
Oh, God, I'm already screwed then.
You have really
I've
gone
really
deep,
thought
haven't you?
about it, yeah.
Okay.
But I recommend to everyone just get involved. Like it's
Yeah. If it sounds like too much fun, though,
oh no, that's the thing is I'm sorry if I did. It's not all gonna be fun, admin. Like there's gonna be times where you're gonna have banter and that, but I tend to not do that because I'm focusing on the admin. Also, there's for $33, the NRL Supercoach Talk people do a 400-page Supercoach Bible where they've got every player in Supercoach possibly ranked.
Wow.
And all their strengths and possible game time. That's a bit of, if you want to read that
That's
a few
cool.
times.
can I also fill out your guys' censuses forms?
Oh, hey,
Can I do
did
that?
you...
And all your family and your wives and children and shit as well. Can
Did
I do
you-
that?
did-
'Cause I just love it.
I photocopied my census blank, right, just so I could write a few fun ones. Where I, like, once I did it and I misspelled our last name, and my wife was, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Well, I did it, babe," and she just rip it up, and I was, "Well, I got another one." So I mean,
Good times.
great times also.
Good times. Super admin.
So,
Get involved.
the winner-
That's what it's called, eh?
Yeah.
The winner gets to sit down with me at a spreadsheet and do our taxes.
So once again, if you are planning on playing Supercoach, the group code is 160442. We will have a prize. We'll work out what it is within the next few episodes of Mad Monday
It's a one-on-one session on Supercoach with me.
with Ben Hurley.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the prize.
Has some mad tips.
Have you got a quick tip right now for anyone about to play? Like, jump on this player. Don't be an idiot.
This is
Stacey Jones.
my hot tip was going to be you can't miss out Nico Hines, but then he's
got a
carrying calf injury, which may hurt him. So
Yeah.
this is the hardest time of year to pick. My tip for anyone out there would be look at cheapies. Don't get too excited until the team lists come out, because that's who you know who is playing in the side. And if you want a little cheeky cheapie, I would look in the backs at Taruva from...
Taylor May's replacement on the Panthers.
Yes.
Yes. So he's going to score, which is good. My tip, and I've never played this before, is just get Cleary and get Tedesco. Don't shag around. Get those two.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the previous years, the halves have scored lots of points and fullbacks have scored lots of points.
You got a tip, Ben?
Do you remember that year we did Supercoach for the Big Bash? You and me and some other friends?
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst summer of my life. And this summer I got hit by a cyclone.
Also, bear in mind the Big Bash, they play 14 games a night for 2 months. So
Yeah.
But also, cricket is basically sport mixed with admin, and you're doing admin based off of that
Yeah.
admin.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
That's fun.
Can't wait.
yeah, also Jermaine Hopgood
for
at
the
the
Eels.
Eels,
Yeah.
who until Ryan Madison comes back is a cheeky little one.
My tip, Tommy Radonicus.
Great.
Lock it in. 3 really good tips there, which is great. All right, well, before we wrap up Mad Monday, the first episode of the year, we do, of course, have to go off the back fence from Dai Henwood.
Oh, a long kickoff. The offload to Henwood, and he's off the back fence. Boom time.
Yeah, methamphetamine started off as a bloody good idea, didn't it? But then it all fell by the wayside into a haggard pile of broken teeth and lost dreams. But who needs methamphetamine to stay up when you are hitting the beginning of the NRL season? Oh, yeah, we're kicking off 9:50, Eels versus the Storm. That game's going to put enough pep in your pencil to get you right through to 8 p.m. the next night when the Warriors face the Knights. Oh, the Knights suck. The Knights suck so much they don't even wear chainmail. Although Caleb Pogger, when he went into that toilet cubicle, he had a little chainmail Connie on his little cock. Didn't either. Anyway, enough of chainmail condoms. Penrith's where you want to be at for the late game against the Broncos. I can't even go to label all the games that are happening over the weekend, but what I am telling you is you're going to be awake from soup to nuts with rugby league falling all over your face. You're going to love it. Your parents are going to love it. Your mum's going to love it. Oh, your mum loves it.
Hang on. So,
I've forgotten how to do these off the back fences.
so the point of your off the back fence was to read out the draw?
Yes. I hadn't got to the point of the back fence. The point was, don't go to sleep all weekend. Just watch rugby league, make a condom out of chainmail, and take it into a toilet cubicle with your mate. I'll really refine these over the next 26 rounds.
That is one way to start the year with a bang. Dai Henwood off the back fence there. I, for one, am extremely excited to be back. Of course, you've got Ben Hurley, Dai Henwood. We've got some other names in the mix as well, including Tony Lyle, and some extremely, extremely exciting news. Not only are we doing a Supercoach group this year with a prize at the end, we're also going to be commentating every single Warriors game except for one, because there's like a Super Rugby game on and like some cricket and stuff. But other than that one game, we're going to be commentating every single Warriors game this year, and we are starting off this Friday, 8 o'clock against the Knights. You're going to have Dai Henwood, and it's on Sky Sport Extra, and one of either myself, Ben Hurley, Tony Lyle, someone like that, joining him to get things started. So make sure you tune in this Friday, 8 p.m. from myself, Ben Hurley, Dai Henwood, and the Export Beer Garden studio. Let's go on, Warriors.
Yeah.
Let's go on. Read the draw.
Supercoach.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.